find your strength and continue to build capacity on your strength.
Yeah.
In that, what can I do? Okay, I want to start my business. I don't want to be at the mercy of like a graphic artist. What can I do? I went back to school. I did digital marketing. So please, moms, if you're watching this, you can do it.
You can do it, mom.
Find what works for you by your strength. And you will really, really expand. And by the time people ask you,
Beauté.
Qu'est-ce, Mary.
Maïga, bonjour, bienvenue dans Qu'est-ce qu'on mange à midi? Welcome to What Do We Eat at Lunch, a podcast where we discuss about life experiences as students and in the workplace, also in business, because we believe that the decisions that we take today are going to have an impact on what we're going to eat at lunch tomorrow, simply on our life. Welcome back again for this new episode. Today we are again here with a special guest that we are really excited for her to share her inspiring journey here in New Brunswick. And trust me, knowing her, just please take time. If you're new here, welcome. Please take the time to like, to subscribe if you haven't done it yet. We are about to start on something great. Please. Anyway, enough about us. Welcome, Olaitan.
thank you.
Welcome. It's just a pleasure to have you here with us today. And who's Olaitan? Who's Olaitan? We want to know who is Olaitan.
Okay. Olaitan is a name that simply means endless wealth. And Ola is the short form, which means wealth. I was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria, to a family from the southwestern part of Nigeria. And I married into another culture, which is in the southeastern part of Nigeria, Igbo tribe precisely. And that was why when I greeted in my language and also the language of marriage. So yeah, I arrived Canada in 2014 for my MBA program at the University of New Brunswick, St. John. And while there, I specialized in entrepreneurship and technology management because for me, prior to coming to Canada, I started putting my hands in entrepreneurship, and which was even driven from birth when my mom literally named our first business after me.
Wow.
So that literally inspired so many curiosity, and I found myself in my mom's shops from time to time. And the knowledge of entrepreneurship from that time into university, even my final year projects at the university was done at my mom's shop when I did a turnaround strategy for our business. So that has literally influenced my decision to go into business. And coming into the MBA program as the first Nigerian with two toddlers who has never navigated the program before, I couldn't really get support through the program because they never had to deal with a Nigerian and to understand how she coped through that program. My husband was still working and was traveling back and forth, but the need for me to take on a 2-year program within the space of 1 year as an intensive program, coupled with raising 2 children, 2 and 4, without family support back home, gave me opportunity to start thinking in terms of being that bridge, to address some of that pain point and making sure that nobody, no immigrant from my region would ever go through that kind of situation. So what I did was to just continue to document my journey, some of the mistakes that I made, and I used that to start sensitizing women, particularly who were looking to come into the same program. Okay. So that led to the, first way wherein I discovered the need and I started my first business after graduation in 2016. I can go on and on and on, but then you can stop me if you want to ask some questions. And when I looked at that as well, I also believe that many are times when you're sensitive to a need, 2 things can happen. It's either you just start thinking about, how can I be the change? How can I innovate solutions around it? Or I can just fold my hands and do nothing. I always do the first option, to be the change, to be the solution to that need. So my business, Oakridge Consulting, then helped me to create a platform called Oakridge Consulting on social media to help people that are looking to come to Canada. Okay. So I always, share tips on how you can apply, how you can, do everything. And majority discover that page and they discover New Brunswick from the page. And oftentimes when I go around, some people just come to meet me, are you Olaitan? I say, yes. Because of you, I discovered New Brunswick. And, I was so happy. And then I navigated from being a full-time professional, because when I graduated from the MBA program, you had to work to be able to navigate the permanent residency if you want to. So I worked with TD Insurance for some time, and then I moved on to an IT company, IBM. So that was where I was for like 5 years. So I did like 6 years in the corporate world before I resigned in 2022 to chase my passion in entrepreneurship, having incorporated another business in 2021.
Okay, wow. That's a long presentation. I hope you guys know. I told you, interesting guest. So this is gonna be fun. You have I think, Shada, I only have a question for you. Okay.
Like my first question is, all the time I'm asking like the same question. Why Mountain, New Brunswick? Why New Brunswick?
Yeah, so the journey to New Brunswick also didn't start in 2014. It started like 3 years ahead of 2014. So, and that also, the knowledge that I gained in that journey of 3 years prior to arrival in New Brunswick helped me to be able to stand and tell an average immigrant that, hey, I have researched everywhere in Canada. This is more like a value for you. So in 2011, my husband and I started researching all schools in Canada for MBA program. And we had to do that strictly because he was going to be the sponsor of the program, and we didn't want to take a loan. So we had to plan our budget around what we can afford, you know. So we started looking for all the schools that not only meet the criteria of just go and quickly have your MBA done. The goal then was for me to come and study and return. Because research has shown that in Africa, an average graduate who has studied in a developed country, for instance, USA, United Kingdom, or even Canada, has a better chances in terms of recruitment, because most employers want to look for a foreign trained professionals. So that was the reason that I left, and because my husband was working with one of the top FCMG, FMCG then, he was not always around. So just felt like, okay, we would want you to go. The children can go with you, so we don't have to struggle about, who is looking after them. So we literally had to plan everything around the cost of the tuition, the cost of keeping the children excited about their toys, about everything they would miss from leaving the known for the unknown. So that budget helped us to find which school will fit into our budget, and which school also meets my own requirements around maybe GMAT waiver, every other things like that. So University of New Brunswick, St. John, literally met that need of, okay, come do this in 1 year and return back home. And the prospect of, having to connect with other African country, other students from African countries also gave me that peace of mind. And the recruiter from that program also really gave me a very wonderful impression about the school compared to some other schools that we've applied to. So that was how New Brunswick came into the picture. So it wasn't like somebody just woke up and said, you guys go to New Brunswick. No, we literally researched all the schools in Canada.
Like you did
graduate school. Exactly.
I think that's something really important that we're taking the time to tell people, because we've shared that before on previous episode, that sometimes, people want to go to school, even we're not even talking about coming to Canada and staying, but just, everything you need in life. And Damilola also share it with the episode we have with her and her husband, that, research. When you look for information, you're going to find the right information. And, it's very important when you're planning to go and do something, to plan, like have a budget, make sure that, you can actually afford what you want to do, and make sure that, you are setting yourself up for success. That's really beautiful. So, you did your research, you then came, you did your MBA program. What was the experience? Because that's one thing I like about Damilola, is that she has touched all the points that we are talking about in this podcast. She lived the life of a student. She did the corporate world. And now she's a full-time entrepreneurship, and so she's also a community leader. So we're gonna touch on all those different, hats that you carried all over the past years. But we're gonna start from how was it to be like a student, not being like single, but because as we came here, we all fresh single, doing our best, not caring about everyone, just like me. I'm doing my study and focus. But you were full-time student in an intensive 1 year program with 2 young kids. Your husband was not here. How do you know? How the people want to know?
Honestly, when I look back now, I ask myself, how did I do it? I can't explain it, but something that I am grateful for, the support system, not only from my community, but from the program, like the program contact person. One of them was Sarah Craig, Michelle Scott. They were just amazing women that literally helped me to connect with another community of immigrants who were able to support. So I'll start by saying that anytime you choose to make a journey in life, the first thing, like we said, is to research. The second thing is to have the mindset that whatever happens, I cannot go home a loser. I will win. I will navigate. So when you have that mindset, no matter what happens, no matter what nature or life throws at you, you will be able to say, I have to do this, and you have no reason than to thrive. So when we arrived, by the way, the year we left Nigeria was where we had this huge outbreak of Ebola. Do you remember? Yes, the flights were cancelled. I was meant to leave with my husband and the children in September 2014. Unfortunately, our flight was cancelled by KLM, I suppose, I can't remember anymore. And we were booked for the next week. So what happened, when you already have a 2-year program that has been condensed to 1 year, you know what that means? You have to run bumper to bumper, like a 24-month, now 1 year, and you must do everything. So even the 1 year orientation, it's something you cannot afford to miss. So because of the cancellation of the flights, I already missed the orientation. So all the old clicking in, go do your ID card and everything, gone. But there was something we also did that research helped us to do. Before we arrived, my husband and I we had researched all the daycare around the school environment. Before we arrived, we had rented an apartment. We started paying in August because the landlord was like, I cannot wait. If I leave this unrented, I'm going to lose. So we had paid for the rent in August that we're going to be moving in September, even though it was last week in September, just to make sure that we're not stranded in a new country. So when we did that, we still couldn't make it in September. So our rents, but then whatever happens, you pay your rent. That's the rule here. And so we did that. And when the Ebola thing happened, we couldn't come in until October of 2014. One thing that we knew we missed that I had to catch up with was having to meet up with studies. But the idea of daycare already settled. We just came in, we took the children there, and then I quickly rushed to school. But that 1 year was like the 1 week was like I lost 1 year. So I literally had to start struggling, and my husband was around. And I remember one day I went into class, like second day, which was on a Tuesday, I resumed. And the way things work here, please guys, if you're coming from a developing country, the way study runs here, academic life is not what you have back home. There is a high expectation that you must be ready, and you must be ready for class. When you have like a course outline, your first week of resumption, they expect you to do everything that is written in blueprints. I didn't have those things. So I went into class and the lecturer was talking and I was just feeling like an nonentity. Sorry, I have to use that word. And we were asking questions, I was like, and I think the lecturer didn't know I wasn't there last week. So the response actually made me feel less of myself. And there were instances wherein an average immigrant from some countries come in and you misunderstand the culture. Such things could give you a high level of culture shock. I experienced it. To the point when my husband, who was meant to do 2 weeks, the week he was going, I really lost it. I was so down. I was crying. One day I recalled as I was going to get the kids from the school, I was lost in my thought that the bus had to carry me far away. So I had to calm down. I started running. I was crying. Who sent me here, Sarah? Who puts me here, But after 1 month, like I told you, the support system I had from the MBA contact person, they connected me with this newcomers center. And I was able to find some amazing Chinese moms who love children and they help them.
That's so good.
But again, there is always a timing for them. Sometimes they're not always available. So some days I might be in class and the daycare will call. Your child is sick, come pick them up. And my husband is far away in West Africa. So I had to leave everything I'm doing
and run to look for the bus. It was very, very challenging. Some days, and the way my lecture ran was sometimes from 6 to 10 p.m. I'm still in class. So we had to also make arrangement for nanny. So not only do we have them in daycare from morning till 5, by the time it's already 4:45, my lecture should end at 5. But when it is 4:45, I'm already packing my bag. Already packing my bag. And I always sit by the door so the lecturer will not see me. Because you know how you feel here when you're in class. And the lecturer keeps saying that kind of human being is not meant to be here kind of you. So I'll just carry my bag. I'll run and go and wait for the bus. And because I also have the next 45 minutes to get on the bus, to pick up the children from the daycare, to wait for another bus, take them home, go back and get another bus, and go to school. So it was challenging. Several times I received a strike for coming late for so many things, but I said to myself, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. And my husband always tell me, sweetheart, I know you know what you're doing. You're a first-class candidate. You made that when you were at UniBen, you can do the same. We're not expecting 110 over 100. I just wanted to give your best. Take from there will be applicable to another situation. So don't back down. Don't just give up. Just keep doing it. So the journey of an average immigrant, it's not always easy. For some, it is easy. For you, it may not be easy. And if it is not easy, what is your attitude? How do you plan? So that was how I navigated, and I got the job with IBM, and I also was able to continue to grow myself. While at IBM, when I closed, I went back to school again. I studied at BC. So anytime I log off work, I just quickly prepare my family for dinner. And I get to class at 9 here in Atlantic. And I finished my class. And that was when I went to enroll in the immigration. And I became a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. And I run my own business right now. For me, change can begin with you if you know what you want. We cannot say the journey is going to be easy for you after studying, but how you position yourself for opportunities is what matters.
Exactly.
The opportunity will not come unless you choose to take the opportunity.
Exactly.
And it's about taking chances at something.
No, I really like what you mentioned there. I think 2 or 3 things that really stood out for me there. You first mentioned the referral that you got from the MBA program.
Yes.
I think that's something that's really important, and I said it to many people around me because Shadra and I both have kind of the same experience where when we graduated, we got an opportunity to work with former teachers at University of Moncton. That was like our first job.
Wow.
And that's like, it's not something that we looked for, because sometimes the people like, I've applied job, it's like, but it's because we had that connection with the teacher. And I always say to people underestimate the network of teachers at university. Those are the people that can place you. You have no idea, but just being like genuine and like have good relationship with people. Not in a way that you're looking for something, but just being like genuine by being a nice person and like just
and show up.
Exactly, show up. Like you need to show up for people to think about you. And also, I really love the second thing that you mentioned there, that you did the insurance job, but you did it so well that, it opened other opportunities at IBM for you. Because sometimes we feel like, okay, I'm not exactly doing what I want to do. So I'm doing it bad because it's not the thing I want to do. But you're like, this, it's not what you want to do. So if you want to get out of that situation, you need to try to find solution to get out of this situation. Is it like, do I need some new skills? Do I need to widen my network, for example? Do I need to, what can I do to get me out of like the thing I'm not comfortable and I want to do? So I think that's really, really important, and I really love that about you, Johnny. Go ahead, Jada.
Yeah, that is nice because like sometimes we are just like thinking that is like the wrong thing we are doing, but it's like the right thing because you are learning. You talk about soft skills, about getting like soft skill and going like to get more knowledge for yourself. So that is like the nice thing.
And as I speak to you, the quest for learning literally took me out from the known to the unknown in the past 14 to 18 months. I'm just doing my final exams now because I always envisage the need for changes in the environment, because when you think of business environment, the volatility of business environments could stem from devaluation of currency, it could stem from world crisis and all that, So in my profession right now, there's a policy change that happened recently. And when my friends were saying, oh, this, I just told them, like, I saw this coming since 2021. They were like, what do you mean? I said, yeah, I saw this coming. And that was why I literally took on the next project that I had to take on late 2022. And it's really helping me to redirect my business, to put myself in a niche where I know that whatever happens, regardless of policy change, I'm still very much relevant, because you really always you need to anticipate change. And sometimes change can take you back to classroom. Don't be afraid. Don't think that you're too old or you're too young.
I love that. I love that.
And when I left again, my husband wasn't around again. He wasn't around. And I needed to still go back to learning as a student, as an employer who has employees to mentor or, interns to work with. At the same time, volunteering at BBPN, at the same time, volunteering in other spaces. Every knowledge and instances helps me to build capacity in terms of how I respond even to my classroom environment. So no knowledge is wasted. Just try to keep, stay flexible, stay positive, and keep on looking at the right thing, regardless of what people around you might say that, is it only you? Is it not too much? It's not always too much, so long as you know where you're going.
Exactly. You need to know your journey, because, you yourself know what you can handle. People can see that,
you are doing too much.
Too much.
It's my cup. It's my cup. I'm drinking.
And then it's my life.
I really love what you say that no knowledge is wasted. I think that's going to be the title of this episode. If people are hearing, when you're going to see the title, just know where it came from. But just put it in the comments. And I think just take the time to think about it. No knowledge is wasted. Because sometimes, for example, people think that, I can't go back to school, for example. I already have children. I've already done this. I had a successful business. How can I go back? What am I going to learn there? And if school is never done. Life teaches us every day.
Absolutely.
Life teaches us every day. So I think it really speaks about the humility, that position in the heart where, okay, I'm in that position, I want to learn. Because when you gain new skill, you're preparing yourself for new opportunities. And it's giving you a new sense. You're seeing an angle that you haven't seen before. And it can sparkle new ideas too. Because now you can go back. Because when you have done, you have the business side. So when you go back to do a business course, you know the reality. And so you learn in a different way, because you already have a certain knowledge. You are able to connect the knowledge you are getting from school to the actual knowledge of what you are doing on your everyday life. I think that's it. Because it's doing so right now.
And I also want us again, let us please note that this is our point of view. However, there is no one cap fits all. Because we could say, okay, because we have done it, I have done it. An average person might not really fit into that.
Exactly.
One thing I would say is find your strength and continue to build capacity on your strength. For myself, this has always been my approach. Do I really want to wake up today and say the next thing I want to do is to go and be an artist and I want to go to school for that? That's for me, I think it's a different priority that will take me out of my comfort zone. I have built on my capacity in the area that I know I am passionate at. So when you look at my journey with the MBA entrepreneurship, before now, I had a first background when I went to the Polytechnic in marketing. When I left marketing, I navigated to the university to do business administration, and I majored in human resources, organizational behavior, and marketing management. So you can still see that I still have the foundation is. Then I came into the MBA program in Canada. I did MBA entrepreneurship and technology management, and I was very careful with the choice of courses that I took that aligns with my strength. So the day they will call me that, come and pick up your child, then I lose class, I know that I can easily go back and read about that thing and I won't really miss much. So I won't have to fail and then I get discouraged. And when I left the MBA program working, I was always looking for areas that I know I can adjust, because as a mom, my husband is, out there working outside of Canada and he comes and goes. what can I do that can help me keep my children within my reach? I had to go for those jobs that will not put me in a situation of performance issue with my employer. I want to always bring my best to the game. And I also don't want to allow my family to suffer.
That's very important.
So I had to have a balance and a blend. And I left. I saw the need again. What can I do? My friends are going into product-based business. I said, no, that's not for me. I need to be a service-based business and a virtual one at that. That's how I started my business. Brokerage, international education. Then I thought, what can I put together? I went back to school, not to go and do painting, not to go and do security programming and everything, but to do immigration that has its own, aspects to what I'm currently doing. But it's not, I haven't done it before, but it aligns. That means I can expand myself. And I did that. When I finished doing that, what can I do? Okay, I want to start my business. I don't want to be at the mercy of like a graphic artist. What can I do? I went back to school. I did digital marketing to be able to boost my business. If I don't have money, I can't pay somebody, I can quickly do it.
Yeah, you can do it yourself.
That's it. And the next program I went to is still another foundational for my business. So that way you can keep going back and expand and keep expanding before you get to where you can say, okay, I'm done. So please, moms, if you're watching this, you can do it.
You can do it, mom.
Find what works for you by your strength. And you will really, really expand. And by the time people ask you, how did you do it? You can't even explain it.
It's manpower.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it.
No, do you have any last question?
I'll say so much.
It's been such so many nuggets to take. I hope people are taking notes. But just to summarize, so that we end from the inspiring journey of Olaitan, I think one thing that's really stood out for me is like keep learning, keep learning. If you're right here, put that in comment. Keep learning. I think so because in a day and age that we are in right now, things are evolving so much. We now have artificial intelligence and everything. And I was in the meeting a few weeks ago, and it was a design class I'm taking right now. And people were asking the instructor, is artificial intelligence gonna take our job and everything? And he said one thing that I've said before on LinkedIn, but that reinforced that in the day and age that we are in right now, the soft skills are gonna make the difference. Yeah. The soft skills are good because artificial intelligence cannot do your soft skills. You can be skilled at designing, you can be skilled at marketing, you can be skilled at whatever you want to do. But he really insists on the fact that if you cannot communicate with people in your work environment, that's where you're going to be replaced. Wow. Because if you don't have that communication as a strong soft skills, you're going to be replaced really, really fast. And so I was like, because sometimes we are so focused on, okay, I need to, get that degree, get that diploma. I just need to work on myself really well, get all the knowledge I need. But when a recruiter is going to be face to face with you, you're going to have the same degree and the same background of someone. But what is going to make the difference is going to be your soft skill. How are you managing? Because in our day-to-day job, either you're in business or, just an employee, you're dealing with people. At the end of the day, you're dealing with people. True. And every company has the work culture. So people are now saying, like, I know, like, the last interview I did was, like, really about, it's not so much about, okay, what have you done and everything, but it's like, how are you going to fit in the work culture? So they ask you specific question about things. How are you, in this type of situation? How will you react in this type if this happen? So that's the thing they are looking for. And if you don't have those soft skills, so I think like really take the time, like through your journey, as Olaitan mentioned, take the time to evaluate, like, what did I learn from this opportunity? What did it bring to me? And what are the soft skills I have right now, which are my strengths, as you mentioned? How can I build capacity on those soft skills? How? What are some of the places I can go to volunteer or serve people? Serve people will build your soft skill because we don't learn soft skill at schools. But it's by serving people that you will build capacity. So people keep on learning. So just to end here, we have the question that we asked to people for inspiring journey. She's scared. No, the question is just simply, what will be the advice that you will give to the Olaitan that arrived there 10 years ago? What will be your advice for her?
It's I call it QOMM, in terms of QOMM, keep an open mind.
Wow. Okay.
When you keep an open mind, you are more like that table where different objects are dropped on the table for you to evaluate, review, and see which works for me. That way, you're able to make that decision on the balance of probability, having access to different information. And information could be hearsay. This person said this about this person. Do not go there. Oh, this is what I know about this. Oh, this is this situation. Explore and allow yourself to be the decision maker of the journey you, which is the journey you yourself. You are going on a journey. Let nobody bring their own journey into your life to discourage you. So journey on your own with an open mind. If you have an open mind, you take all advice people give to you and you allow yourself to allow your inner voice and your mind to tell you on the balance of information I have, which one is tilting towards my value system, which one is tilting towards my why, the reason I am even on this journey in the first place. Because when you look at those multitude of opinion, certain times the opinion with the loudest emphasis and the push might not be the one for you. That is why you need to keep an open mind. See everybody as human on your journey and do not judge them or make a conclusion about them until you've experienced them. Above all, be ready and committed to making a mistake, fail. When you fail, there are two ways to it. It's either you fail forward or you fail backward. Failing forward is taking lessons from your first attempt in learning, which is also fail, to position yourself for the next opportunity and making sure you don't make that mistake again. Failing backward is remaining stagnant and not moving. What do you want to do? It's up to you. Thank you.
Wow. What a beautiful way. I don't know about you, Chidra, but that's a beautiful way to end. Well, people, keep an open mind, learn. And if you haven't followed, I don't understand. With all we have shared here. Okay, so we're gonna share, we're gonna have in the description all the links if you want to contact Olaitan for her business. She forgot to mention it, but she's also the co-founder and the president of the Black Business and Professional Network here in New Brunswick. They're doing an amazing work, and we'll continue that. More new things to come, so stay tuned. We're gonna also have the links of the pages of the BBPN if you also want to join and just have some more information about that. So Olaitan, it was a pleasure to have you. Thank you for your time, and it's really beautiful. And until we see you again, guys, what do we say? Bon appetit!